You are 20 years old when Italy enters the war, and until then, the most dangerous thing in your life is the Adriatic in winter. You grow up in Bari, where your father, Antonio Ferraro, repairs fishing engines near the harbor, and your mother, Rosa, sells vegetables from a stall 2 streets inland. Your younger sister, Lucia, is 14, and believes every uniform makes a man look important. Your closest friend, Paolo Rizzi, works at a freight warehouse and spends most of his wages on cigarettes and football bets. Elena Conti, the daughter of a schoolteacher, has known you since childhood, and is the only person who can make you stop talking when you are nervous. You expect to work beside your father, save for a small apartment, marry Elena, and complain about fuel prices until you are old. Then, on June 10, 1940, Benito Mussolini announces that Italy is entering the war against Britain and France. Crowds gather around radios. Flags appear from windows. Some men cheer. Others calculate what war will do to shipping, food, and sons. Your father does not cheer. He fought in the First World War, and still carries a piece of shell in his shoulder. When you ask whether Italy will win quickly, he looks toward the harbor. Quick wars are usually longest in the memory, he says. Your mobilization papers arrive weeks later. Before you leave, Lucia gives you a small red thread bracelet she braided herself. It is badly made and much too tight. She says it will bring luck. You tell her luck should at least know how to tie a knot. She makes you wear it anyway. Training takes you north, away from the sea. You learn the Carcano rifle, marching drill, field positions, grenades, and how long a man can polish boots before beginning to hate both boots and authority. The Italian army is enormous on paper, but many formations lack modern transport, radios, anti-tank weapons, and enough motor vehicles. Horses and mules remain essential. Equipment varies from unit to unit. Officers talk about offensive spirit. Mechanics search for spare parts. Paolo somehow ends up in your regiment. He says this proves God has a sense of humor. Sergeant Carlo Bianchi disagrees. Bianchi is 37, from Parma, a professional soldier who has already fought overseas. He possesses the tired patience of a man who has watched young recruits mistake confidence for preparation. He teaches you 3 rules. Keep your socks dry. Never assume headquarters knows where you are. And if Paolo says he has a good idea, wait 5 minutes. In October 1940, Italy invades Greece from Albania. You do not march into a collapsing enemy. You march into mountains. Rain turns roads into mud. Supply trucks stall. Mules carry ammunition where vehicles cannot pass. Greek troops resist, then counterattack into Albania. The terrain is steep, cold, and unforgiving. You imagined war in columns and flags. Instead, you spend hours carrying ammunition uphill. At night, wet clothing freezes stiff. Food arrives late. Men burn furniture for warmth. Frostbite removes soldiers from the line without a bullet ever touching them. Your first battle begins in fog. You are ordered toward a ridge that looks close on the map and impossibly far while climbing toward it. Machine gun fire cuts across the slope. Men drop behind rocks. Mortar explosions throw black earth through the snow. Paolo crawls beside you. Have they considered moving Greece somewhere flatter? You laugh once. Then a soldier named Ricardo is hit 10 meters ahead. The laughter stops. Bianchi orders you through a narrow gully. You reach a stone wall and fire at shapes that appear and disappear through mist. By evening, nobody announces victory. You simply receive orders to dig in. That night, you touch Lucia's bracelet beneath your sleeve. For the first time, you understand that your family may never know exactly where you are. Letters become part of survival. You tell your mother the food is good. You tell your father the army owns engines worse than anything he has repaired. You tell Lucia her bracelet has already survived rain, snow, mud, and one extremely aggressive mule. You tell Elena almost nothing about fear. She understands anyway. Her letters describe shortages, ration lines, and Bari's growing importance as the Mediterranean War expands. By spring 1941, German forces intervene in the Balkans. Yugoslavia and Greece are defeated. Italian newspapers describe victory. Bianchi reads one aloud and looks at the mountains behind you. Apparently, he says, we have been winning incorrectly. For several months, your unit performs occupation duties. The war changes. There are fewer clear battle lines. There are patrols, sabotage, ambushes, and villages where civilians fear every uniform. One afternoon, your squad searches a farmhouse after ammunition is reportedly hidden there. Inside are an old man, his daughter, and 2 children. Cartridges are discovered beneath the floorboards. The old man insists they belonged to his son, who disappeared months ago. Nobody can prove whether he is telling the truth. The lieutenant orders the family outside. Then, he orders the house burned. Bianchi hesitates, only for a second. Then, he tells you to remove their blankets before the fire starts. It is a tiny act inside something much larger and uglier. You carry the blankets outside. The woman looks at you as though deciding whether you are helping her or helping destroy her home. You realize the answer can be both. That evening, Paolo sits beside you. I thought soldiers were supposed to know who the enemy was. Bianchi answers before you can. That is what everyone says before the war starts. In 1942, your regiment is reorganized and sent toward North Africa. The Mediterranean crossing terrifies you more than the mountains. British submarines and aircraft threaten Axis shipping. You stand below deck inside a transport crowded with men, vehicles, ammunition, and fuel. One torpedo could finish your war without allowing you to see the enemy. You reach Libya. The desert is the opposite of Albania. No wet mountain walls. Almost no shade. Almost no water. Distances so large that a position looks close until you try walking toward it. Italian and German forces fight British and Commonwealth armies across Libya and Egypt. You quickly learn that supply matters as much as courage. Every liter of fuel must cross the Mediterranean, survive attack, reach a port, and then travel hundreds of kilometers toward the front. Because your father taught you engines, you are attached to a motorized supply section. For the first time since leaving Bari, your hands return to work they understand. You repair trucks beneath canvas while artillery sounds in the distance. You learn how to create one functioning engine from two dead ones. Paolo becomes a driver. This, he says, is proof the army has finally lost its mind. During the Axis advance in 1942, optimism returns. Tobruk falls. Men celebrate. Bianchi does not. Every kilometer forward, he says, is another kilometer the fuel must travel. By the time the armies reach El Alamein, the Axis supply system is stretched dangerously far. The British 8th Army strengthens its positions. In October, the Second Battle of El Alamein begins. The night becomes daylight. You have never heard so much artillery. The ground itself seems to move. British forces attack through minefields and defensive belts. Italian formations fight alongside German units under enormous pressure. Some resist stubbornly, but determination cannot manufacture fuel, ammunition, or replacements. Your truck section is ordered forward with ammunition. Halfway there, aircraft attack the road. Paolo jerks the wheel. The truck overturns. You wake upside down, hanging from a strap. Paolo is screaming. His leg is trapped beneath the dashboard. Then, you smell fuel. Bianchi crawls through broken glass. Another soldier cuts your strap. They drag you out. Paolo remains inside. Fire begins beneath the engine. You crawl back. Bianchi grabs Paolo under the shoulders while you pull at his trapped leg. The metal finally shifts. You drag him into the sand. The truck ignites seconds later. Paolo watches it burn. I always hated that truck. His lower leg is badly broken. You carry him toward a field dressing station. The battle becomes retreat. Axis forces withdraw across Egypt and Libya. Vehicles are abandoned when fuel runs out. Men walk beside machines they can no longer operate. Paolo is eventually evacuated to Italy. You envy him, then hate yourself for envying him. By 1943, Axis forces in North Africa are being crushed between Allied armies advancing from east and west. Your unit is among those returned to Italy before the final collapse in Tunisia. Home is not the home you remember. Bari has blackouts. Food is scarce. Air raids are part of life. Your father's workshop cannot find parts. Your mother trades vegetables for flour. Lucia is 17 now. She no longer thinks uniforms make men important. Elena works at a clinic. When you see her, you expect the years apart to disappear. They do not. You have changed, so has she. She notices the faded red thread around your wrist. You kept it. It is military equipment. She smiles. Then, Allied forces invade Sicily in July 1943. Within weeks, Mussolini is removed from power. Marshal Pietro Badoglio becomes head of government. Officially, Italy continues fighting beside Germany. Secretly, the government negotiates with the Allies. Ordinary soldiers know almost nothing. Rumors spread through every barracks. Italy will leave the war. Italy will fight on. Germany will occupy the country. Mussolini is finished. Mussolini will return. Peace is coming. Nothing is coming. Then comes the 8th of September, 1943. The armistice between Italy and the Allies is announced. Men begin cheering. For several minutes, you believe the war is over. Then someone asks the obvious question. What are our orders? Nobody knows. Italian formations across the country and occupied Europe receive confused, delayed, or contradictory instructions. The king and government leave Rome. German forces already positioned throughout Italy begin disarming Italian troops. Your regiment is outside Rome. One officer tells you the Allies are no longer enemies. Another tells you German forces remain partners. A third disappears completely. Bianchi gathers your squad. A soldier asks, "What are we supposed to do?" Bianchi looks toward the road. Apparently decide what Italy is before breakfast. German vehicles arrive. An officer orders you to surrender your weapons. Several Italians obey. Others refuse. Someone fires. Nobody knows who. The road explodes into confusion. You and Bianchi escape through an orchard with 6 other men. By evening, you are soldiers without an army. The following morning, German troops control the road. Posters warn civilians not to hide escaped Italian soldiers. Italy has split apart. The Allies advance from the south. Germany occupies most of central and northern Italy. Mussolini is later rescued by German commandos and placed at the head of the German-backed Italian Social Republic. Italian soldiers face choices nobody prepared them for. Join Mussolini. Join the forces loyal to the government in southern Italy. Fight with the resistance. Hide. Go home, or be captured and transported to German labor camps. Bianchi wants to head south. You want Bari. Before either happens, a young woman approaches on a bicycle. Her name is Teresa Gallo. She carries bread in a basket. Ammunition is hidden beneath it. She works with a local resistance group. German patrols have blocked the road south. "You can hide with us." Bianchi looks at you. Paola would have made a joke. Nobody does. For the next 3 months, you become something between soldier and fugitive. The Italian resistance is not one organization. Communists, Catholics, socialists, monarchists, liberals, former soldiers and civilians oppose German occupation and fascist forces for different reasons. They argue constantly. They also need one another. You sabotage telephone wires, guide escaped Allied prisoners, move weapons, warn families before searches, hide young men avoiding conscription into fascist forces. Your knowledge of engines becomes useful again. Instead of repairing trucks, you learn how to disable them. Teresa watches you remove a small component from a German vehicle. That stops it for 6 hours if the mechanic is good. And if he is bad, 2 days. She notices Lucia's bracelet. You believe in luck? No. Then why wear it? My sister does. In early 1944, battles around Monte Cassino and the Allied landings at Anzio bring the war closer. Rome seems both near liberation and impossibly far away. German defensive lines across central Italy use mountains, rivers, demolished bridges, and fortified positions to slow the Allied advance. Your resistance group is ordered to observe a road used by German vehicles. You, Teresa, and Bianchi hide inside an abandoned barn. The convoy stops unexpectedly. Soldiers begin searching nearby buildings. You have nowhere to go. Bianchi points toward the rear exit. You two leave. You refuse. For the first time in years, Bianchi almost smiles. You were easier to command in Greece. Then, he walks outside alone. He tells the patrol he is a lost Italian veteran trying to reach his family. They arrest him. The convoy leaves. You never see him again. After the war, you will search lists from prisons and camps. You will find 3 men named Carlo Bianchi. None can be proved to be yours. You write his name inside your military paybook. Beside it, you place a question mark. Rome is liberated in June 1944. Crowds fill the streets, flags appear, church bells ring. For a moment you think liberation might erase everything that came before it. Then, Teresa takes you to a wall where civilians had been executed months earlier. Freedom does not resurrect anyone. The war continues north. You decide to join the reorganized Italian forces now fighting alongside the Allies. Italy is now a co-belligerent against Germany. Italian military units fight north, while partisan formations continue battling German and fascist forces behind the front. Your uniform changes. Your rifle changes. Some officers change. Your memories do not. During late 1944 and early 1945, you fight through mountains, mud, villages, and defensive positions. A young replacement named Matteo joins your unit. He has never fought Germans before. One night he asks, "Are they different now?" Who? The Germans. Now that they are the enemy. You think about Albania, the Balkans, North Africa. September 8th, Bianchi walking toward the patrol. No. Matteo looks confused. What changed? You look down at your own uniform. Everything around them. By spring 1945, German power in Italy is collapsing. Partisan uprisings erupt across northern cities. Allied troops break through German defensive positions. German forces retreat. Mussolini is captured and killed by Italian partisans in late April. German forces in Italy surrender, effective May 2nd, 1945. The European war ends days later. You are 25. 5 years have passed since you left Bari. During those 5 years, you fought for fascist Italy. You fought beside Germans. You watched your government collapse. You hid from German soldiers. You worked with the resistance. Then you put on another Italian uniform and fought the same army that had once been your ally. For the rest of your life, people will ask, which side were you on? You will never discover an answer short enough to satisfy them. The train south is packed with soldiers and civilians. At Bari Station, you search the platform. Lucia sees you first. She is 19. She does not run immediately. First, she looks at your uniform, then your face, then your wrist. The bracelet is still there. Only then does she run. Your mother nearly knocks you over. Your father looks 10 years older. Elena waits behind him. You take one step toward her, then stop. She takes the second. Someone begins shouting from the far end of the platform. Paolo. He walks badly now and uses a cane. His leg healed crooked after North Africa. He points at your uniform. I leave you alone for 3 years, and you change armies? You laugh harder than the joke deserves. Your father eventually reopens the workshop. There are few spare parts. Fortunately, there are endless broken machines, fishing engines, generators, pumps, trucks. For months, you repair them. Your hands remember. That frightens you at first. War taught you how easily destruction becomes normal. Repair becomes your way of reversing the habit. You marry Elena in 1947. Paolo gives a speech claiming he personally kept you alive through the war. Lucia interrupts. She says the bracelet deserves the credit. After the wedding, you finally remove it. The thread breaks immediately. You put the pieces inside an envelope. Post-war Italy is not peaceful in the simple way you imagined peace. The monarchy ends after the 1946 referendum. Italy becomes a republic. Political arguments fill cafes and homes. Former partisans, former fascists, veterans, returning prisoners, widows and civilians remember the war differently. Some want trials, some want revenge, some want silence. Others suddenly claim they opposed Mussolini from the beginning. Memory reorganizes itself quickly after defeat. You resist doing the same thing to yourself. When your children become old enough, you tell them you once believed the war might be short. You tell them you celebrated victories. You tell them about the farmhouse in the Balkans. You tell them about Paolo trapped inside a truck. You tell them German soldiers were once beside you and later hunted you. You tell them Italians fought other Italians. You tell them courage and fear often occupied the same body. Eventually, your son asks, "Were you a good soldier?" You think about Riccardo on the mountain, the woman watching her house burn, Paolo beneath the dashboard, Bianchi walking toward the German patrol, Teresa carrying ammunition beneath bread, Matteo asking which side had changed. I tried to become a better man than the soldier who left. Your son looks at you. Did you? You look toward the harbor. Fishing boats move beyond the breakwater. Engines you repaired carry men into ordinary danger. Weather, waves, bad fuel, human mistakes, no artillery, no uniforms, no countries collapsing. I am still trying. Years later, after Lucia dies, her daughter brings you a small wooden box. It was found among Lucia's belongings. Inside is another red bracelet. New, perfectly tied. Beneath it is a note, for when he finally loses the first one. You laugh until you cannot. You sit at your father's old workbench. He once taught you that when an engine fails, a mechanic should not begin by asking which part is guilty. Listen first. The machine will tell you where it broke. For most of your life, people will ask where Italy broke. Was it when Mussolini entered the war? In Greece? In the desert? When Sicily was invaded? When Mussolini fell? On the 8th of September? When soldiers discovered nobody knew who they were fighting? During occupation? During civil war? Eventually you understand there was never one sound. Countries break through thousands of decisions. Ambition, fear, obedience, silence, compromise, and sometimes resistance. They are repaired the same way, not by pretending nothing happened, by remembering exactly what did. You tie Lucia's new bracelet around your wrist. This one fits. Outside, a fishing engine starts. You listen until its rhythm becomes steady. For once, the sound does not mean an army is moving. It means somebody is going home.